Well, I've got this air conditioner in. Its complaint is it's not very cold and on hot days it's useless. I had a quick look around. It's pretty obvious what the problem with this one is. I'll get the light. Now, we'll see in there's a nice mat of dirt. You see where I've got the screwdriver and moved a bit of dirt away from the coil. But yeah, that can't get its heat out, poor thing. It just overheats and stops working. Well, I got the cover off, and as you can see, this coil is just filthy. Like, I just run my finger down it. That's just horrible. There's just dirt packed all the way through it. And I was looking at the design of this because there's a little water pump here in the condensate tray at the bottom, because you put a hose on this to drain it. And I was wondering what this pump's for, and followed the hose up to here. And I was like, And I've had a look around, and what happens is the condensate comes off the evaporator coil, goes around here, and then drips down the condenser, down to its tray at the bottom, and then drains back into this tray. And then it pumps it up as well to give a good water flow once there's enough water in this tray. So it uses evaporative cooling to cool the condenser. So that's a pretty interesting design, because I was thinking it was a small condenser, but that would help it out a lot. Only if there's enough humidity to actually make condensate though. So in a very dry, non-humid environment, it'd probably have a bit of trouble. There's a fairly thick coil though. So it's got a decent fan on it. And a decent fan on the evaporator. And it's a fairly fascinating unit. There's the compressor. Yeah, very fascinating indeed. Should work well after a good clean. Alright, well, I'm just going to use the vacuum cleaner, because why not? Turn it on. Now, it's much cleaner, but it's still actually fairly dirty, as you see. So, now I get the coil cleaning agent, pump up the bottle, pump it up. I'll applicate some of this to it. That smells interesting. There'll be dry condensate there, so all of that stuff would be stuck in this coil. I'm not going to explain what condensate is made up of, but it's not something you want to be drinking, let's just put it that way. Give that a nice clean. Dribbling on my mat. There's my mat. So now do the same to this coil, clean that up, do it all at once, then wash this one down and then that one down, because all the crap's going to come across into this one. So yes, now I'm putting coil cleaner on this coil, and as you can see when I apply it, it runs down around here. A bit on that side. And then it'll run down this coil and clean it as well as it's doing it. Give this a clean too, there's a bit of dusty shit in there. Set that to spray, fine mist. Here we go. That should be enough. So now I just let it sit for a bit, give it another application and then rinse it off. Oh, there we go, rinsed it all down nicely. That's looking pretty damn good now. Clean this little condensate divider. Evaporator's nice and clean. And cleaned out the condensate tray and around the pump. So this thing should work much nicer now, I'd say. Be like new again if the compressor's not damaged from all that torture. I've got it running now. It seems to be blowing cold air. And tested out the pump. I blocked off this and filled up the tray with fresh water. And the pump starts up when it gets to a certain point. It pumps a whole lot of water up here. And then shuts down, starts up. So there's a little water level switch somewhere that activates the pump. So, but since they have the drain out all the time, the pump would never start up because there's never enough water in there to actually do it. So I flushed out the pump circuit and yeah. So it's a non-draining unit unless it's really humid and then it'll probably have to drain it. But under normal circumstances you probably don't need to plug in. It's probably best to let all the condensate out instead of circulating around because it gets pretty yucky. So I'll give that a run for a while and see if the compressor's any good. As you can see, it's frozen the top loop here, but everything's wet at the moment, so it's got to like equalise all its pressures till it gets happy. But who knows, they might have damaged the compressor by running it on 40-something degree days with a block coil. At least it's got some heat coming out here now, unlike it did before when I first test ran it. It's pretty sad. Well, I've given this unit a few runs, and each time the same story. All that freezes up. This one, that one's sweaty, and the rest of them aren't sweaty. So it's one of two things. Either it's got a small leak somewhere that I can't see and it's low on gas, or the more than likely thing, which I think it would be, is a damaged compressor and it's not able to get the appropriate liquid flow to the evaporator. So the liquid's flowing too slowly through there and it's getting a chance to evaporate, you know, through these tubes only and not go through quick enough to evaporate through them all. Which I'd say that's the problem. So yeah. That's what happens when you let them overheat by blocking the condenser. So if I turn the compressor off, well frozen up. It is, you know, making condensate and blowing cool air. But since the compressor's not getting any cooling back to it, it'll probably overheat more and die in not too long. So I'll give the unit back and say, well, here it is. It's able to get some heat rejection now because there's nice hot air coming out there now. But it's damaged, so it won't work as good as new. Which is a bit unfortunate, but oh, that's what happens. So that's the story of that one. Don't let them get bad. Well, just to show how useless this thing's become, is it 25 sort of out here? Yeah. It's only measuring 17 degrees. If you measure the coil, it's 0 at the top. Get a little closer to them. And -1. Try and get a good measurement right on them. Yeah, -1, let's say, at the top there. By the time we get to the bottom, about outdoor temperature. So that's not really working too well at all. Coil 33. Outlet's 39. So pretty much it'll just be cooking the compressor and wasting power the way it is now. So yeah, it's not really cool. Yeah, the fan itself is 17.5. You'd want it more like 6 or 4. That would be nice. But yeah, it's a bit sick. Oh, this is the poor old unit sitting here. Ended up condemning it. They didn't want it back. I ended up selling them another one. So I'll just park this out for anything useful. Like maybe this blower here. That one I don't know if I'll find any use for, but I might take it anyway. And maybe the little water pump. But the rest of it's just scrap. So the little water pump might be useful for something. Making a miniature cooling tower or whatnot, but that's about it. This fan might come in handy though. But yeah, it's kind of dead. Poor old thing. It had a hard life. I'm sure if I sent it to Ed for autopsy on the compressor, it'd probably be quite nasty in there. So might even do that. Might even just donate the whole thing to Ed, minus a few parts, or I'll just get a few parts back off him later on after he's tormented it a bit or whatever. No, we'll see what happens.